kind of truck is that? I don't know.
It's a Ford.
Oh.
Now that's a truck. It's about time I'm in a real focus group. You would not believe the last one I was in. It was one of those terrible Chevy ones with that awful hose.
Hi there. You each drive a Ford pickup, right?
No.
Yes, sir. I have a Ford F-150.
2016 F-150.
1999 Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Well, then I have a real treat for you today.
Wait, so all you guys own Fords and you couldn't tell what kind of truck that was?
I'm going to show you a next generation pickup.
Let's do this.
Hey, do I know you?
This new truck now has a corner step built right into the bumper. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's kind of dumb. I mean, it's like 2 inches lower than an actual bumper.
On my truck, I can't put my foot all the way up on the bumper.
Gotta do more yoga.
Terrible joke. Are you sure we haven't met before?
The bed is made of high-strength steel,
The stronger, the better.
which is less susceptible to punctures than aluminum.
Yeah, I mean, it's steel, but who buys a new truck and doesn't put a bed line in? You know what? I hate everything you're saying right now.
And it has an exclusive automatic locking rear differential.
That's very cool. I wish my truck had it.
A lock and rear what now? I have no idea what that means.
And the most surprising thing about this new truck is that it's actually current Chevy Silverado.
Ah, it's burning!
Chevy?
Oh, wow.
Put the cover back on it.
I'm speechless.
I've been had. Bamboozled even. Bastard! God damn you! Damn you all to hell! You know, if you put the cover on, you'll probably sell more trucks. It might be a real problem if you gotta trick people into liking your truck.
I just thought we would start there. That guy, every time, absolutely is the most hilarious thing on YouTube, at least to me right now. And the reason I thought we would start there today was hypocrisy. You know, everybody remembers the press conference, or the whatever he called it, where he had Cornyn on one side and Feinstein on the other, and he was talking about how it would be a great idea to just take the guns first and then due process later, and how, you know, just give the police the ability to just make the spitball assessment if someone is mentally ill or not after he did this. You know, now it's like 10 times easier than it would have been under the rule that he undid. And this is something that a lot of us have said for a long time about what the current administration was. In fact, I even did a video over a year ago that covered the top 10 Trump-Obama similarities. And it was striking. It really very much was. And I'll see if I can find the link and put it in a comment or something. But it's, you know, because it was a long time ago. But there absolutely were, and tried to cover it, and people just didn't want to hear it. And now I think, you know, a year and 2 months in, we are seeing, you know, this unmasking, and I'm kind of wondering, you know, this whole mess, you know, with Hillary Clinton now still not being able to let the election go and talking about everything that went wrong. Remember in 2008, she got passed over. At that time, they thought she was going to be the heir apparent, and then she got passed over for the nomination by Barack Obama. She was the original birther. She was the original person who brought up this issue with Barack Obama's birth certificate. It wasn't the right. And I wonder if this was the second time in 8 years that she got passed over by a Democrat. That maybe they just thought, you know, okay, this time we'll actually just run a Democrat pretending to be a Republican, pretending to be a conservative, and he was supposed to lose, and she was supposed to win, and then this guy ended up winning anyway, which is hilarious. I mean, and this goes, you know, this is 2012, and how tariffs were bad, and how it's a horrible thing for America, and how it costs so much, and everybody was like, oh, this guy's, you know, protectionist, and this is what caused the Depression, the lolly tariffs. But now we're seeing it again. And here's a third example. All of the different things that the current administrator said he was going to undo from the last administration, well, he renews this and agrees with him on this extraordinary threat to national security. which nobody ever talks about. He doesn't come out and say, oh boy, Barack Obama really nailed it in 2015 when he declared Venezuela a threat to an extraordinary threat to national security, and then sends out his Secretary of State, former Secretary of State Tillerson, out to encourage the military overthrow of an elected leader, whether we agree with him or not. I mean, I don't like Maduro any more than anyone else, but when the U.S. sends out its Secretary of State and encourages a foreign military to overthrow its government, that's really not necessarily a conservative principle. And down here at the very bottom, Heather Nauert. We have said we are considering all options to restore democracy to Venezuela, including individual and potentially financial sanctions. So financial sanctions, meaning that when we withhold funds and we make it hard for a nation to refinance its debt, causing massive poverty and massive shortages of food and medicine and fuel, forcing them to go to Russia, India, and China to get them. That's how you restore democracy? Really? I wish somebody could explain that to me. It's just strange to see. It's just like this bizarre world that when the last administration talked about mentally ill people and how we need to search for them and find them and use that to assess whether they can get a gun or not, that's a horrible, terrible idea. But then literally the guy sits down and says the exact thing in his press conference with Cornyn and Feinstein, because of course the shooting happened in his backyard. Literally, that's what he said. Take the guns first and due process second. And then that's exactly what his lackey governor passed. That's what Florida just passed. A state rule that says now, Obama didn't even suggest that, the idea that raising the age of purchase from 18 to 21. Meaning that, you're an adult, that you can be charged with a crime, put to death, you can go die for your country. You can do all these things between 18 and 21, be held accountable for your actions as an adult, but you can't enjoy the benefit of the Bill of Rights simply because of your age. You are not entitled to the benefit of the Second Amendment because of your age, even though in so many other ways you're considered an adult at 18. And that's just what passed. And everybody's like, well, you can't hold Trump responsible for what Florida did. Well, it's pretty much what he told him to do. Literally, almost exactly the same thing. And he's not come out and condemned it. He's not come out and said, the Florida went too far. And no. Because they literally did the same thing, except it's so much worse than the Obama rule was. Now, you don't need to have ever even been treated for any mental health issues. Not one time. You don't ever have to have been prescribed any kind of drug for mental illness, ever. All you need is a spitball assessment by a cop under this law. That's all the cop has to do now, is say, that person looks at the moment to be mentally unstable, and we're going to go ahead and Baker Act him. And then at that point, they Baker Act you. They will, put you in a facility. If you have anybody at your home, like, a wife, girlfriend, or whatever, they'll, of course, bring them in just to question them, to just get the basics. And then, of course, your kids will either be at school or they will be taken to foster care or state care. And then once everybody's out of the home, then they'll go in and seize all of your guns and ammunition under this new law. And when you look back at this, when you look back at it in reality, you got to wonder if you got bamboozled. You really got to wonder if you got completely bamboozled. So, Anyway, I'll leave it there. Zebra Corner mock is absolutely, every time I watch it, I can watch it 1,000 times and I'm still, almost on the floor. Can't breathe. It's so funny. So anyway, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.